All right, I know you're totally fired up about triangle congruence. It was a blast, wasn't it? Writing out all those congruent statements. Here, remember, we took a look. Yeah, are these triangles congruent is our question. Can we say that they are a total match? Well, you remember the last unit. Do we have the congruent parts? Yeah, and we can see we've got the side here matches this side here. This side's going here. This side tick marked matching this side, and then the angles too. Remember, angle and angle, all the matches. But it was kind of a big pain. I know some of you guys were really whining about all the lists you had to write. So we had to go, angles. Do the angles match? Can I find an angle that's congruent to an angle? Can I find another angle matching another one? And I had to match up all three angles. You remember this? And then the sides. Yeah, did we have to say the sides were equal? One side matches another. This side matches this one. Third sides match. All that information had to be there before we could say the triangle was congruent to the other triangle. Yeah, I agree. It was a pain. So the good news. The good news is there's some shortcuts, and that's what this lesson's about, and the next lesson too. We're going to see if we can find some shortcut ways so we don't have to list all of this stuff. Maybe we can do it a little easier. So let me talk you through a couple of shortcuts. First one is side, side, side. Basically, this is what it's saying. If I have a triangle, actually I got a couple triangles. This is going to be kind of rough, so forgive my pictures here. But if I can show that this side is congruent to this side, and the second side is congruent to this side, and even a third side pair are congruent, that side to that side, then can I say the whole triangles are congruent without having to worry about the angles? And the answer is yes. And this is called the side, side, side shortcut, or SSS for short. It stands for side, side, side. And it does tell me that these triangles are congruent, so I do not have to talk about the angles at all. Well, why does this work? Let's look at this little demonstration. I've got these three side lengths right here. And let's say that maybe they're boards or something, and I want to build a triangle out of them. So I grab this long board, and I start working to build a triangle. I grab the medium board. Let me just kind of connect these up. Maybe this angle here. And then I've got this shortest board, and turn that one to see if we can get these connected into a triangle. And, oh, I'm almost there. So these two this triangle with those three boards, I've got my triangle formed. Let's say somebody else comes along and they want to build a triangle too with those same three side lengths. So they've grabbed that board also. Maybe they grab this long one, and maybe they decide to put it down near the bottom instead. And so they put it like this, and then they take the middle, or let's take the small one. They take the small one and put that up there. And hook those up, and then we grab the middle one to finish off our triangle. And let me just kind of adjust this, make these match. You see, I have to make these adjustments because I don't really get to pick what angle I want. I tried to just put them random angles, and that didn't work. I have to get them at perfect angles to match. And so I end up with this triangle. Well, these two triangles are exactly the same. If I just rotate the one around, maybe flip it, I could superimpose it right on top of the other. So I didn't even get to choose what those angles were. So that's called the side, side, side shortcut. And again, if you can show that all three sides of one triangle have a match in all three sides of the other triangle, you got congruent triangles guaranteed. That's a nice shortcut. How about side angle side? Now let's look at that. Let me clear off this space. Okay, side angle side. This is how that one works. This one says that if you've got two triangles again, so this triangle, and you want to show it's congruent to another triangle, then maybe you can just do it with the three parts, the side, the angle, and the side. So this is what it looks like. You got to show that this side matches this one. You got one side that matches. You have to show a second side has a match. And you have to show the angle that's between those two sides. This is called the included angle. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. You take these two sides, and where do they meet? At what angle? That's the angle you need to show is a match. So this angle has to match this one. Again, that's called the included angle. We'll talk a little more about that in a minute. Does this work? Well, side angle side, SAS for short, is a way to show that triangles are congruent. They always have to be if those are a match, and here's why. Let me just take this angle right here. This is my angle, and that's going to be the included, and I'll pull a couple boards. Maybe I'll take my medium and my long ones. And let me form the angle by lining those boards right up with the sides of that angle. Oh, I was almost there. Come on, baby, turn. There, that's a little better. Okay, so I've got my angle formed and my two sides. Now I want to finish this triangle off. Do I have any choice of how long that last side is or at what angle it comes in at? Of course I don't. I don't have any way to do this other than just to connect the two ends of these segments to finish the triangle off. Of course I could do it with a straight line, I guess. But that means that this is always going to have to be the way that triangle looks, based on that angle and those two sides that formed it. So that's my side angle side shortcut, and that is a nice way. We don't have to worry about any of this other information. We've got congruent triangles. Okay, now for side angle side, I was going to say you've got to make sure you're including that angle. So here's the right way to do it. Like I showed you in the last picture, or maybe we'll just change it a little bit. Let's say you got these two triangles, and it's this angle that you have as a match. Then you're going to have to show me that these two sides and these two sides are congruent in order to use the side angle side shortcut. And why is that? Because that angle is the included angle. It's the angle that's between the two sides you're using. So included is another way to say that it's between them. Here's the wrong way to do it, just to clarify. If I've got these two triangles and I want to say they're congruent, and I try to pull a fast one on you and I say, okay, here's a side, here's another side, they match these two sides, and this angle here is a match. That would be wrong, because the included angle is this angle between the sides that are a match. So we would need this angle right here. This is the included angle. And side angle side requires that. This angle is opposite of one of those sides, and that is not right. So this is the wrong way to go. Okay, what about angle, angle, angle? Can we use that as a shortcut? Angle, angle, angle. So if I take this triangle, and let me just copy that thing. I'll just copy it. So I've got two copies of it, and they have the same angles. Well, these two triangles are congruent. You saw I just pulled it away, and I can superimpose it on there. But does it always work? Well, let me take another copy of this, and this time, let me just scale it a little differently. That's pretty easy. I'll just bring that down like this. Okay, so this triangle here, this triangle also has those same angles. In fact, I could line them up. There's angle A. See how those sides match up just perfectly? And angle B matches the old angle B and angle C. But are the triangles congruent? Not at all. We've got a reduction. One's a smaller version of the other. So angle, angle, angle. That is not a shortcut to use. It shows you similarity, but that's not what congruent means. Okay, let's try these examples. You're going to decide if these are congruent. Do we have one of our shortcuts here? So take a look at what's given to you. In this first set, we've got an angle matching an angle. We put a little A in that. So this is an angle. Over here, I've got an angle, and it has a match. And on the third set, I've got another angle. I've got three angle matches. This is an angle, angle, angle. Is that going to show congruence? No. So these might be congruent. We don't know for sure. How about the next one? These two triangles. Well, right here on my first tick mark, that's a side tick mark, and it's got a match. Here's another double tick mark with a side, matches, and I've got a third tick mark matching a side. So I've got three side matches, or side, side, side. Is that going to be congruent? Yes, these triangles are congruent, and the reason why is our side, side, side shortcut. Okay, here's something you'll see quite a bit. Look right here, I've got a side. They've matched it with this side. And in this triangle up at the top, we've also got an angle, and it's matched with an angle. And that's all I have, a side match and an angle match. Side and angle isn't enough. But, guys, look at this and watch for this all the time. You see this side right here in between the two triangles? That side is a part of the triangle on the top, but it's also a part of the triangle on the bottom. So this is an example of one where we say this side matches itself. I'm going to tick mark that it matches itself because it's a shared side between those. And so that's going to be the other piece of the puzzle that I need. That side is the same as itself. Think about the reflexive property. So this shortcut is true. These triangles are congruent, and they're congruent by the side angle side shortcut. How about number, or whatever this number is, I don't know. All right, let's check it out. We've got a side. Does it match a side here? Check. We have another side, tick mark. Does it have a side match? There it is, check. How about this angle right here? This angle matches this angle. But, careful, is this the included angle? Is this the angle between the two sides? Yeah, it is, but what about over here? Is this the angle between the two sides? No, this is the angle I needed to match to get side angle side. So these are a no. That was a tricky one. Watch for that. You might be fooled. Okay, in this one, we've got another opportunity to see this shared side. Every time I see a side shared by two triangles like this, I'm putting tick marks on it because it's an automatic match. Do I have other stuff that I need? I've got a side. Does it have a match? Yes. I've got another side with a match, and my third side is shared. So here's another one that's congruent, and these are by the side, side, side shortcut. All right, and we got this last one. And I've got a side with a match in the other triangle. Anything else? Hopefully you see vertical angles here. The vertical angles you should always mark as congruent. So there's an angle. And there's nothing else. I don't know anything about these sides. So I don't have enough information here. These are not congruent. So that's how that works. These shortcuts are going to be really, really nice for us. They're going to save us lots of headache and lots of pain. So enjoy them.